go blam. Watching your team is like watching a blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lee. Cowboys no need to flex. Like Des Bryant, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and a trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world. Y'all know Jerry Jones.
Number one in the nation in the hitch route, man. I want to know, man.
Watching your team is like watching a blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lee. Cowboys no need to flex. Like Des Bryant, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and a trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world. Y'all know Jerry Jones.
What the first INT to the house gonna look like?
We the 5-time Super Bowl champs. Got rings that go blank. Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching a blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lee. Cowboys no need to flex. Like Des Bryant, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and a trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world. Y'all know Jerry Jones.
I need to know, man, real quick, where did this come from?
Man, how are you enjoying your rookie? First, how do you feel about continuing that legacy of
we the 5-time Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching a blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lee. Cowboys no need to flex. Like Des Bryant, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and a trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world. Y'all know Jerry Jones. Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching a blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lee. Cowboys no need to flex. Like Des Bryant, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and a trip bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world. Y'all know Jerry Jones.
Route, man. I want to know, man.
We the 5-time Super Bowl champs. Got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching a blooper. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lee. Cowboys no need to flex.
The 2019 Dallas Cowboys season is only a few months from kicking off, but this year, let's do things a little different. Instead of just watching games at home or just going to a game, let's actually experience our Dallas Cowboys, just like West Coast does. Cowboys Experience is my one-stop shop for all my Cowboys game day weekends. Their packages are all inclusive, including 2 nights hotel accommodation. We'll pick you up and drop you off at the airport and game. Want to hang out and get autographs from current and former Cowboy greats like Drew Pearson? If you're ready to experience the Dallas Cowboys like no other, make sure you inbox West Coast or go to cowboysexperience.com today. The 2019 Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's that time of the year again for our annual gala. On June 8th, we will be hosting our 2019 Diamonds and Pearls Gala down in Davie, Florida. You can purchase tickets or find out more information on 88blessings.org. On top of honoring our single moms, we will also be honoring Lori from Make Our School Safe. I hope to see you all there. Much love.
What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast. I know y'all not used to me busting in here earlier on your Sunday morning, but we got a gang of rain here, and I got a bunch of runny nose kids. So the wife made the call. She was like, "We gonna watch church on TV, like we watch your show. We gonna watch church on TV this morning." So I was like, "All right, let's do it." So here I am, live in the building. I'm also going to be doing some other stuff later on today, so make sure you guys stay live. I got an interview with he's a Minnesota Viking player, but still it's a good interview. I might do it on live, but I know for sure I'm going to be recording it. But I am your boy West Coast. We live in the building. Let's say some what's up to these folks in these comment box. What's up with you, Star Boy? I see you, man, my hitter. What's up with you, Mr. 214 himself? How you doing this morning, man? Appreciate you for coming up in here. He said, what dates you going to be there, James? I don't know. I think you're talking about training camp. You talking about training camp? I'm pretty much gonna be there. They're out here 29 days, I think, total. I'll be there at least 27 of them. But for sure, I'll be out there the first week. I'll pretty much be out there Monday. I think it opens up on Tuesday this year, actually. So I'll be out there Tuesday, and then Wednesday. And then, you know, the weekends, I ain't gonna lie, if you're coming out to training camp if you're trying to come out, I'm gonna give y'all some tips, right? Because we all scouts. That means we a serious Cowboy fan out to uncover truth. These are some tips on training camp. Weekends is fun, but it's hella crowded. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much like game day environment on Saturdays and Sundays. And Sundays even worse. Like parking is ridiculous. It's ferocious. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, the stands, like, you really got to get out there early. Like, imagine, like, a high school, like, not even like a high school, but like a college game environment where it's a lot of people, and it's just, like, you know, you're parking, like, on people's yards and all types of crazy stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, Saturdays and Sundays are kind of, you know, they kind of weird. The best day, in my opinion, to go to training camps, honestly, is through the week, man. Like, on, like, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. Them is usually your best day that you really want to go to training camp. And the reason being is because on those days, everybody can't be off on a Thursday and Friday. Like, literally, I've been there, not a Friday, but like a Tuesday, Wednesday. Like, I've been there on Wednesdays where literally there was probably like 80 total people in the stands. So when there's like 80 total people in the stands, you got to think there's 107 players out there. So when they do autographs and they do all types of other things like that, like you have 2 or 3 players around, it's like a different effect because you can have like 2 or 3 players trying to give an autograph to one person. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm just saying. Like, you know, it's good to come on the weekends because, you know, they do a little bit, you know, it's more showy on the weekends. You're going to see, you know, they do a little bit more team stuff to, you know, to kind of wet everybody's whistle, get them all excited about football. But if you're really trying to see what they going to be doing, like in like seeing like actual one-on-one drills and stuff like that, the best time to come is during the week, and that's when I go. I usually go both, to be honest with you. But you know, if you only got one time to hit it, I would say come get here like a Wednesday and a Wednesday Saturday day. You know what I'm saying? Because Saturday and Sunday you're gonna see the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But the blue and white game is pretty lit. I ain't gonna lie. That's like the first little scrimmage the Cowboys do. You know, they split the 2 teams up, and it's basically offense versus defense. It's not like total different teams. Like, so, I mean, but that's pretty dope. That's on the Sunday. All right, so let me give some shout-outs up in here, man. Let me get some shout-outs real quick. What up with you, Starboy? What up with you, Steve? Steven, he said, what's up, West Coast and Boss Cowboy saying what up from you from Grand Prairie. What's up with y'all? Hey, man, Boss Cowboy, we'll be back on here Monday, 4:30. 4:30. I think he's doing a show with Big James today. So if they do that show, make sure y'all get on there and support Boss Cowboy on there. You know what I'm saying? Nathaniel says, "What's up, West Coast? What up with you, man? Starboy, what up with you?" Rigger Barreto, he says, "Hello, what up with you?" Alan says, "What up, West Coast? What are you thinking about our receiving core, and would you sign Dez Bryant on a 1-year prove-it deal for $2 million? With your opinion on what's that new deal?" I'm gonna give y'all know how much I love me some Dez Bryant. I absolutely love me some Dez Bryant. Would I be open to sign Dez Bryant to a one-year deal for $2.5 million? Abso-freaking-lutely. Why? Because we just signed Jason Witten. We signed Jason Witten for $2 million for a one-year deal. And I was actually going to talk about the tight ends today, so that's actually a good little segue too. But yeah, man, I would just to answer your question, Alan, I would absolutely sign Dez Bryant to a one-year deal for $2.5 million. I would probably try to get it around $2 million. Why? Because I would look at Dez Bryant the exact same way I look at Jason Witten, and I would tell him, hey, man, we want you to come in here. We don't really want you to be more like a big brother, because these guys all got big brother. You know, these guys are all, you know, they're in their third, fourth years. What we want you to come in here is just be a good vet. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what they're asking Jason Witten, and they're asking him to coach a little bit, help some young guys out. I think if a team was to come at Dez Bryant like that, because a lot of times, you know, it's what you try to do, the best way, what I've seen, you know, I've been a district manager at a few local companies, and what I've seen is when you get that old dog who's kind of set in his way, like, there's a couple things you can do to kind of help them get themselves motivated. And I'm going to tell you the number one thing that I've seen with an old dog that still got a few tricks up his sleeves, put them with a young dog, you know what I'm saying? And then tell him, instead of them telling him, yo, he don't need a big brother, what he needs him to do is show him the right way of doing stuff. Because what they're going to do is he'll be a good example while at the same time being a good person, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a 2-for-1. Kind of like what they tried to do in Pittsburgh. The only difference is Juju ended up being a better person than AB. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think it, I mean, you know, and then also you got to say it like this. We got guys like, I mean, I love Noah Brown. Shout out to Noah Brown. He the homie. You know, he going to show us a lot of love if he on the team still. But, I mean, my thing is this, man. I could easily slide Dez Bryant where Noah Brown is. You know what I'm saying? Like, very, very easily, and would feel very, very comfortable with doing that. I mean, I love me some Allen Hurns, but at $5 million saved, you know, pay Dez $2, shoot, I'm up $3 million, and I honestly think I would probably get the same. I know for a fact I would probably get the same production. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who would get more production between Allen or Dez, but I'm just saying I think they would probably be around the same production. So, but the savage is about $3 million. So, I mean, it do make sense, but I'm going to be honest with you. In a Jerrynomics world, it won't happen. It ain't going to happen. Why? Because I'm going to tell you guys, how often do rich people come out in the world, make bold, brash statements that the entire world say are dumb, and then come out and say, yeah, we made a mistake. They don't do that, man. Like, rich people don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't do that. That's a humble person. Like, think of this. Like, if the Joneses were trying to be that, being right about the situation, then they would have never released Dez to begin with. They would have offered him less money. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's hard for me to believe that after someone did a situation wrong the first time that they're going to double back and do it right the second time. That's just like, for me, that's hard for me to believe. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I would love it. It makes sense, but I don't see it happening. You know what I'm saying? So that was let me get to, so David, what up with you, David? What up, Big Sam? What up with you, Chris? Man, got your order in the mail. Appreciate you for supporting. Got your 2 jerseys in the mail. I shot them out the other day. Anthony Pranks, what up with you, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. 818 in the building. What up with you, man? Hey, is it raining up there where you at? Starboy City chilling. Bernard. G Jizzle, what up with you, man? G Jizzle, you came to California, man. You posted on Facebook that you was in California. I immediately jumped in your inbox, found out that you was only 15 miles from me, and we still didn't hook up. Salute to you, bro. That's how you do your boy. It's all good. So I asked something for you, too. But hey, G Jizzle, it's all good. I know you was out here on some family-ish. Just holler at me next time. Hey, don't be touching my state without hollering at me. That's all I'm saying. I'm an inbox away. That's it. All right, Anthony, what's up with you? Dolan, Alabama in the house. What up, West Coast? What up, man? Hey, what y'all putting in the water out there at Alabama? I need to know. How you doing, Auntie? How you doing? I did not skip church today. I simply watched it on the big screen. All right. What up with you, Joseph? He says, aloha, West Coast and Dallas Cowboy fans. Joseph, I know you going to the game. You need to inbox me, because if you in Hawaii, you need to go to the game, and I need you to get some footage. All right, so inbox me. Pablo, what up with you? Roscoe, he says Cowboys forever. Ruben, he says, but Dez is capable of being a good vet. Attitude, toxic. Man, I'm going to be honest with you. This is my thing. When people say that Dez is toxic or all this other stuff, give me a situation where Dez was toxic to a locker room. Give me a situation, because the only situation that you can name where Dez Bryant was toxic in the locker room, or when he went off in the locker room, he was not even going off on the players. He was going off on John Jack, the reporter. That's what actually happened. And think about this. After our first surprising win of the season in Atlanta, when nobody thought we were going to win in Atlanta, what did Dak Prescott do walking off the field? He threw up the X. What did Jalen Smith do? He threw up the X. What did DeMarcus Lawrence do on his first sack? They threw up the X. Like, come on, man. Like, you know, come on, guys. Just because we may view them on the outside, that's not how they view them on the inside. And DeMarcus Lawrence said that Dez Bryant was the heart and soul of this team. So, you know, it's very hard for me to believe that. What up with you, Bob? What the heck? What up with you, man? He says, yo, what's good, Bob? Heck, what up in the building? I see you. 704 in the billion. What up, Manny? I see you. Okay, so, yo, let's get to this first. Let's get to this first. The first thing that I kind of wanted to talk about today. And the first thing that I wanted to talk about today was I got a few updates on the rookie minicamp. I also put out a video if y'all want to go check it out. This is the exact title right here. Hey, and shout out to everybody on YouTube, too, because I'm slipping, man. I know some folks on YouTube repping right now. They like, West Coast, you don't be showing us no love, West Coast. We over here on YouTube, and you ain't showing us no love, West Coast. What up with you, Bobby? OG Bobby Johnson, what up with you? I see you. Good word. I watched church online today as well. Kids, see, that's what I'm talking about. If you watch church online today, shout out to your pastor for making it happen. You know what I'm saying? Robert, and I paid my tithe online. So, Dez is passionate. I love it. Solomon, what up with you? Bobby, Justin, what's up with y'all all over there on YouTube? I did not forget about y'all. All right, so let's get back to what we was talking about. All right, so I got a couple updates right here on what happened at training camp. Obvious, not training camp, but rookie OTAs. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, you can't get into rookie OTA. So anything that I get or anything that anybody's telling you, it is either a tweet that they read online or it is a show that they listen to. And it would have to come from like the Brian Broduses, the Nikki Eatmans, the Hellmans of the world, because those are the only people who are permitted in these sections. Not even your boy West Coast. I'm working on it, but they have not allowed me to get into this yet. You know what I'm saying? So this is from everything that's why it takes a couple days to get all this information, because you try to kind of get everything together, you know what I'm saying, and so that you can present it to the people, you know what I'm saying. Let me write this down because I just had a thought come in my head. All right, so let's talk about some updates on this real quick. The Miami kids, from what I hear, they look exactly what a Miami kid is supposed to look like, and that is ready to play football right now. Both Michael Jackson and his daddy both look like they are either ready to drop hits or drop players. You know what I'm saying? And I absolutely love it. I love that the fact that the Dallas Cowboys are drafting people who are coming out of programs who believe in strength and conditioning. Because I'm going to be honest with you, this is nothing to say about Texas. You know, hook them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, man, a lot of y'all boys coming out to TU, y'all small, and we got to put extra weight on you. I thought y'all, everything was bigger in Texas. But that's not a shot at y'all. I'm just saying. But I do know this. The Miami boys is ready to play. You know what I'm saying? They look like, you know, from what I've heard, each one of them look like their bodies are pro ready. Now, why I say this is important is this, because if you don't come into the NFL pro ready, that means before they can even, I mean, obviously they're going to start downloading you with information as far as plays and stuff like that. But you got to be physically able to handle smashing into grown men. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not able to do that, you can put yourself in a situation like a Connor Williams, where he was, West Coast said it all year, bro, you need to gain 10 pounds. Like I said it all year. Bro, you need to gain 10 pounds. Why? Because you're paying against D tackles, and those dudes are really big. And now they're really big and fast. So you got to put on some weight. West Coast said that's his North Carolina game. Got to put on some weight. I'm happy he put on the weight, but what I'm saying is this. I don't want any more Connor Williams situations. I don't want any more situations where I'm hearing about guys having to put on 15 pounds in their second year. No, bruh. Be ready now. You know what I'm saying? Like, college programs, man, these college programs have just as much money as these NFL teams, keeping 100. Like, I promise you right now, there is not one strength and conditioning coach in the NFL that's making $300,000. But guess what? Alabama has two. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got two of them that's making over $300,000 to, you know what I'm saying? I hated the weight room, too. but they getting $300,000 to teach them how to get bigger. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. You get those guys, you get those programs who value having these guys built and ready. So guess what? When they come into the NFL, the only thing we're focusing on is downloading these plays, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Downloading these techniques and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I like the fact that these kids, another guy last year that did not play a whole lot, who was ready, that boy Covington. I know he had the baby. I called him the baby face gangster because he looked like my little brother, man. Every time I seen Covington at training camp last year, I just wanted to hug him, man. Because my little, they just got the little baby. You know the baby face. You know what I'm saying? Look like he's 14 and forever. You know what I'm saying? Forever 14. That's what he looked like. You know what I'm saying? But boy, that guy, he had a grown man like your uncle body. You know your uncle that's like overly strong? He had a body like him. Like God dang. Like Covington was huge. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude was built and ready. Another dude that was like that too is Dorrance Armstrong from last year too. That's another dude that came into camp like ready to go. Like these dudes was big. And if you Google if you go Google their 2018 picture, look at them, look at Covington and look at that boy Dorrance Armstrong. Look at how big them dudes were. And I like the fact that the Cowboys are going toward that mode where they're finding guys, you know, later in the round, but who are also ready to play right now. You know what I'm saying? Because that takes a large strength off of allowing you to be able to do other things. So shout out to the Miami kids. Whatever they eating and drinking, I'm liking it and I'm loving it. Roscoe says they just let Dak open up and create. Okay, nothing. Boss get off the build. Boss get out. Okay, I don't know what he's talking about. Bama be putting mayonnaise in the rice. Ah, y'all crazy. Boss, what up with you, Boss Cowboy? Hey, man, you supposed to hit that link, man. Get out my comments, man. What you doing? Hit the link, bro. I already sent you the link. Hit the link. Hit the link. Mark says, what up? I'm trying to make up to Oxnard. Okay, I see you. Hey, everybody tell Boss Cowboy hit the link. Go ahead, hit the link. I already sent it to you. Hit the link. All right, so Jay says Bama be putting mayonnaise in their rice. That's nasty. But maybe they do. You know what I'm saying? LOL. Okay, so all right. So my next update, Jalen Jukes. I'm gonna be honest. Out of all the defensive guys, I'm hearing he looked absolutely the fastest as far as moving around and getting in and out. He looked very, very fast. Moved very, very well in and out of his breaks and things like that. Not necessarily breaks because, you know, they weren't really going up against no offensive line. So everything that they were doing was like shirts and symbols, exactly what you see right there. So I mean, what I'm assuming what they're probably talking about is they're probably talking about like him like in and out of drills. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they're not, you know, even though they're lined up in a formation right now, you notice there's no defensive line in front of them. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to take no chance of getting anybody injured or anything like that coming off. And I mean, so I doubt they're doing any type of one-on-ones. But I mean, from what I did hear, he definitely looks like he definitely, you know, from what everybody's saying, he definitely looks like a speed defensive end. You know, a guy that the Cowboys, you know, despite where he was drafted, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, the Cowboys seem to really, really like Jokes. So, you know, it's two people that I'm hearing that the Cowboys are being very, very favorable to, who they really, really like. Also, not, you know, who play. And I'm staying on the defensive side too right now. Was that boy Donovan Wilson? Now I apologize. I was supposed to be interviewing his mother on Monday, but I had an emergency at work, which was 100% on my fault, so I had to reschedule that. So I apologize for anybody who was getting ready for that, but we're gonna definitely get her back on here, hopefully closer towards training camp. But yeah, man. So, but I know she will be definitely happy to hear that her son has been used in all 2 safety positions, and they had him playing in the slot. Sounds like a lot of like Xavier Woods. Like, to be honest with you, that's what Donovan Wilson. It sounds like they're moving him around and doing a whole lot of things, just like they did with Xavier Woods. And you know how Xavier Woods actually played the slot. He played the slot his rookie year. Then they moved him to the safety back there. But I mean, you know, from what I'm hearing, you know, the word is that they really, really like Donovan Wilson a lot. Also, something that Brian Brodus said on a show, and you can actually go look at the show and you'll hear him say it. He actually says that Donovan Wilson, that the Cowboys were using him the Cowboys were using him to like basically they were giving him plays or giving him reads, and he was relaying those reads to the other people on the field. So I'm gonna be, and from all the DBs that were getting used, that's because they have undrafted free agent guys that are in camp that they have right there that they brought in for rookie free agent camp, for rookie camps too. So but like I was saying, out of all the DBs, it sounded like Donovan Wilson was definitely the guy that they were using the most. So you know what I'm saying? I like it, man. I like it. I like it a lot, man, because, we've been talking a whole lot about safety this, safety that, safety this, safety that, safety this. But we forget that we actually drafted a safety. You know what I'm saying? So, shoot, it kind of puts your focus back on and say, hey, we need to get to know these kids that are on our team right now. Maybe a guy like George Iocca isn't a guaranteed if a guy like Donovan Wilson come out here and ball. Who knows? What's up with you, man? I got my boy Boss Cowboy on the line. What up with you, man? Ah, man, we know how it is, man. Just big time Charlie weighing, man. See, man, my boy Boss Cowboy out there, and he at work right now, so I don't, so if he at work, shout out to his boss for letting him, or you your own boss, so shout out to your customer for letting you pull over on the side of the road and get this cowboy talk, man.
Oh yeah. So, what's up, everybody?
Hey, I tell everybody this: if you don't trap and work extra hours in the in off season, you gonna have to work overtime in the regular season. So we try to do all our extra working in the off season so we can just focus on football. But yo, we on this. I was giving some updates on training camp and things that would happen at training camp. I don't know, how long do you have with me? You got a couple minutes so I can finish this up and then we can go to something else?
Oh yeah. And then I'm gonna be able to jump on the show. I just need to pick up something real quick.
All right, that sounds good. All right, so just finishing off. So obviously my boy Pollard, I think you guys are I know everybody's begging and hearing my boy Bob. Well, I'm gonna say my boy Bob Heck's homeboy, because that's actually Bob Heck's homeboy. Bob Heck's homeboy, Mr. Pollard, running back that we drafted. I think a lot of people have kind of been labeling him as a gadget guy and a guy who's going to be able to, just be like a trick play pony type of guy. But I'm going to be honest with you, from Brian Brodus' mouth, he says he looks like an every down running back, period. And I'm going to be honest with you, that makes me even more excited about it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're saying that he looks like an everyday running back, an every down running back, and you're still giving the hint that he's still going to be able to do the trick pony stuff, woo! I don't know, man. This could be very, very exciting. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. That also, when I heard that, you know what that also told me, Boss Cowboy? That my boy Mike Weber is going to have to fight like a dog to make this team.
Oh, man, I hate to hear it.
He's going to have to fight like a dog to make this team. And the reason why I say he's going to have to fight like a dog because Brian Brodus also said that even though he favors a lot of things that Zeke does, he's a lot smaller than Ezekiel Elliott. And my thing is this, they said he's about the same size as Pollard, you know what I'm saying, when they're standing beside each other. So my thing is this, if Pollard can be an every down back, but he's more explosive, then it almost, and I'm not wishing no ill will on anybody, but I'm just saying, Bo Scarborough is proof that, hey, it's hard for a running back to make this team. You know what I'm saying? So, it's, I would hate, I don't want to waste another pick, but I think my boy Mike Weber is gonna have an uphill battle, especially if my boy Pollard can do everything like a regular back and do the gadget stuff. It's gonna make it hard for my buddy Mike to make this team because carrying, and we got to carry a fullback. That's what kind of like burns you. You know what I'm saying? Because we do have to carry a fullback. So I mean, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, I think the person that's really on the bubble is Darius.
Yes.
Darius Jackson.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, because Mike Weber, they say he's smaller, but he's only smaller by height.
Yeah.
Because Zeke, when you, like, mass-wise, they built almost exactly the same without a full pro offseason. So Mike Weber, to me, is going to be the cheaper version that hopefully we look at going forward with. And he is too much exactly what Jerry hinted to what he said he wanted. When he said he wanted somebody that's like Zeke. Because he said that over the offseason when all of us was at first saying we wanted a change of pace back. But then he changed it like, no, I just want somebody that's going to be able to kind of take the load off feet.
They wanted a copy.
Nobody that's really better than Mike Weber. We was calling him before we ever drafted him Zeke Light. Like if you go on my page, when I did my breakdown on Mike Weber, that was my exact quote about him. I said he's Zeke Light, like light beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Darius is not. Darius had the speed, but Darius didn't have the vision. Darius didn't have the patience, and then just really kind of hit the ground running. We need a back that's intuitive, that's able to kind of come in without needing to kind of get those reps to get going. And I think Mike Weber is not going to be on the bubble. And I really think they just don't even quite know quite yet how they going to use Pollard. I think it was just that he was saying, because I heard that too, what Broadus said. I think Broadus was basically saying if the need be, they can use him as a 3-down back if the need be. But I think he is still going to be that gadget player that they're going to put on special teams, especially kickoff return, and they're going to do other things with him. I just think it's kind of early, I think Broadus is going to probably wait till he see them at camp, and that's where we go get a real indication of how they really going to use him.
Oh yeah, and the cool thing about it is Mike Weber, since Zeke is probably only going to play a series this entire preseason, like Mike Weber is going to have every opportunity to make or not make this team. Like it's like even though it might be one of the harder positions to make, you're gonna have the most opportunity to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because Zeke didn't play at all last preseason. Now I'm hoping they won't make that same mistake this year. But
right,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh, totally. And see, and I think to your point, Zeke need to get his reps in preseason because we all should know by now that Zeke needs his reps because he get going late. Like it usually take him about 2 or 3 games to really kind of get in his rhythm.
Yep.
Because every year we question him. Even in 2016, he started off bad. John's game was bad. Redskins game, he was benched for Morris, and people was actually trolling him like, man, did y'all waste the pick? But then by game 3, when it was Chicago 2016, he took off. Same stuff gonna happen in 2017. And remember, everybody was saying, is he fat? Is he slow? In 2017, they was questioning him at the beginning. So, yeah, to your point, I think they definitely should start him, but they gonna also need to give Weber some of those reps and Pollard, just so they can kind of get them going as well.
Oh, I'm actually saying I think Weber's gonna probably start 2 or 3 games because Zeke is, yeah, hell yeah. Because bro, remember Bo Scarborough, and that's why I said that's the only thing that it's almost like the gift and the curse. Where if you're good, you're gonna have every opportunity to make this team. Like Bo Scarborough, when we released him, I don't think anybody was mad because we all saw what we could see. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I was really excited about Bo. But when you couldn't score on the 4th and on the 1-yard line, bruh, against in San Francisco, I'm like, you made this decision on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say like a guy like Mike Weber, he's gonna have mad opportunity. And I love all these kids, man. I don't want anybody to think we wishing any ill will. But I'm just saying, if a guy like Pollard if he can be an every down back, and he can still do that gadget stuff, bro, you're gonna roll with Pollard. Why? Because you can why waste the roster spot? Not even the roster spot, but the defensive line is where you're gonna need those. Right now, you're looking to find ways to make spots for these defensive linemen. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where you're gonna be your greatest value and loss gonna be. Not in trying to keep a 3rd or 4th running back when you got Zeke.
So we carried 3 running backs last year, right?
We carried 3 running backs, but we carried 3 running backs and a fullback.
Okay.
Well, technically, because Zeke was always active, Rod Smith was always active. Those were the only and we had the fullback. So technically 3.
And I know we had Darius at the end too.
Yeah, but he was never active though.
No, he played in the.
He played in the Giants game, yeah, because Zeke didn't play. Remember?
Never active. Okay.
Yeah, he played in the Giants game because Zeke didn't play.
So you thinking so that we can go overload the defensive line, that we learned our lesson from 2018 2018, you think that running back is where they're going to kind of cut them fast. That's your theory?
I'm saying you have to cut the. I'm saying you have to. I mean, because Rob Marinelli needs at least 8 guys, and with having 8, LA showed me that he really needs like 9, like, or maybe even 10. Like, we have to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and then also like I'm hoping that. I don't care who it is. I don't even want to say Tony or Weber because I don't want anybody to think that I'm being biased toward any player. But I'm hoping that we can have, because if you have a legitimate backup running back, you don't need 3 running backs. Like when we had Lance Dunbar, it was Lance Dunbar, and then it was DeMarco Murray, and that was it. And we had Keith Smith as our fullback. No, we didn't have Keith Smith. We have Tyler Klutz. We had the white boy. He was our fullback. That's all we had. But I mean, we didn't start having to have all these extra guys and this extra stuff until last year. So I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, bro, with Ezekiel Elliott is a superior player, just like Dak. With having a player like Dak and having a player like Zeke, you should not have 3 quarterbacks with a guy like Dak. Why? Because his history says that he does not get hurt. Like, you can bet on that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that Zeke won't get hurt, but his history shows that in the Cowboys' worst statistical offensive line season, he was still healthy. He played all games. Like, the only game he didn't play was the game we benched him. So I can bet on that. Give me a superior backup running back, and then let me save a spot. Because think about this, bro. If you go look at this draft, look at the draft picture I have on my page right now. You can look at the mindset and tell them where we go. We have, 6 blue shirts, 2 white shirts. Blue shirts are what? Defense. You know what I'm saying? White shirts are what? Offense. The Cowboys are thinking defensive mind. That's where our biggest need. So, man, we're going to have to – and then, man, you got to keep you got to keep more defensive guys around because D-Law is not practicing right now. Who else ain't gonna be practicing? Taco and his old weird self ain't gonna be practicing right now. Then Randy Gregory, he can't even be at the Star. So it's like I need 3 fake guys to practice so when they come back I can let them go. It's just weird right now, bro. We just going through it right now.
Early, and I'm gonna be honest, I think Broadus just kind of got a little bit maybe over his feet.
Well, I mean, it's March. I mean, it's May, so we're all over our feet. You know what I'm saying?
Like if he was hinting that he feel like Pollard is gonna, I think it's gonna have to really kind of play out on the field.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is May. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said this is just. And you got to remember, there was no vets at this practice.
And they wasn't really doing like.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't want to. But at the same time, I don't want to discredit Brodus because, man, this dude been a scout 40 years. So it's like some stuff you ain't got to see. And then you got to think like this. But you got to also look at it like this. That's encompassed with the film that they have right now. So, we're not necessarily.
The practice.
Oh, I think he just jumped in right now. Hello. All right, so Boss Cowboy will be jumping on here in about 2 seconds. But yeah, man. What we were talking about, the schematics of the practice. All right, there you go. Say something so we make sure you on. The volume is good.
All the way live.
All right, there we go. So yeah, what the discussion that we were having is, Brian Brodus, and to be honest with you, when he saw Mike Weber, he didn't even see Mike Weber they didn't even see Mike Weber on the field because you got to remember Mike Weber slipped and fell and then went and got an MRI. Now I have an update on him too. He's okay. The Dallas Cowboys have an MRI. We are the only NFL team that has an MRI at our training facility. So when we get MRIs, it's just like we going to go, hey, you was walking down the street, my leg hurt. Why not use it? Now, if you the Washington Redskins and you go get an MRI, that's something you need to think about. Why? Because they got to pay for that. They got to go to another hospital, get all this information, and wait for the results. We have one at our location. So sometimes when they say this player got an MRI, it sounds bigger than what it really is. But truth be told, he actually walked off the field to the MRI, and they said, and Nicky Spagnola said, to be honest with you, if you wouldn't have known that he slipped and fell, you would have just thought he was going to go get some water. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was saying, like, he wasn't really even discussing. The only thing he said about Mike Weber is when he was standing. And the reason why he even made the statement is because Mike Weber is using Ezekiel Elliott's, he's using his locker right now. You know what I'm saying? They have Mike Weber using Zeke's locker. So with that, he just kind of compared the size. And he was like, I'm used to seeing Zeke standing right there. And he looks everything like him, like the hair, everything even the way they talk, the way they manner, you can really tell that just like Kobe manner, kind of like shaped himself after Jordan. He's like, you could tell that Mike really shaped himself after Ezekiel Elliott. And he was like, the only difference is he's shorter than Ezekiel Elliott. You know what I'm saying? He's hella shorter than Ezekiel Elliott. All right, so the last person I wanted to update on was the Hyatt kid. They had him moving all around the offensive line. Brian Broder said, just from what he saw, just his shirts and shimmels, you know what I'm saying? That's what they call him. He was, the slower of the two, the slower of the offensive line. I'll say that. You know what I'm saying? And he said, that's probably explains, his, where he was drafted at too. He said because just out in clothes and things like that, you could definitely tell that he was one of the slower of the offensive line, which kind of sucks for offensive line because most offensive line are what I don't even believe offensive line should be running 40-yard dashes because they don't even run that far. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy how a guy can be a 2-year consensus All-American, go do some drills, and then you be like, oh, he's not a good football player. Why? Because that happens in the reverse all the time. You know what I'm saying? It just sucks when it happens the opposite way. When a guy has really good film, and then he goes and does some drills, and you're like, he's not a good football player. Why? Because his 40 is da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You get what I mean, Boss Cowboy? It happens both ways, you know what I'm saying, where they'll use tape, they'll use film they'll use a combine to boost somebody up, but we hate it when it's used the opposite way. What were your thoughts on that? Can't hear you. But I know he's probably, let me read some comments while we do that. Ken says, I think of our fourth backup and can play well. Terry says, shift one of those tight ends to block as a fullback when needed. Bernie says, don't need a fast O-lineman. Just need him to block and keep my QB clean. You're absolutely right. But for whatever reason, man, they attest that as being a part of being successful. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yep, got you. So what are your thoughts on that, man? Because I know we've talked about that a few times where they use the combine. A guy won't have really good film, but, or he'll average film. He'll go to the combine and they'll boost him up. You know what I'm saying? But we hate it when a guy like Hyatt, where he has good film, and the guy's 21 years old. That's crazy. He's 21 years old with good film, started 4 years, and doesn't get drafted because, honestly, he doesn't test well, doesn't look so fast in shirts and shimmels.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with the scouts a little bit, and I've always said that combines is an ongoing case study, especially when it comes to tackles. But the problem and why, to me, you had to kind of draft him or draft him late or not draft him at all is because, according to research, when a lineman runs over a 5'2", their chances of being successful in the league is horrible. So it's like his tape is good and it's, and everything sounds good, but it's like they can't ignore historicals, So it was good that we have him on the team, but Broadus also started to confirm from what he saw that he saw the slow footness, which a lot of people also equated to his 40 as well.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a wait and see kind of thing, because I had that same feeling on Orlando Brown, who ended up going to the Ravens, because his combine was horrible, all-time horrible, right? He had a first-round grade. Why did he? But Orlando had a first-round grade, and he beat the dog snot and basically took baby brother Bosa and treated him like a stepson and kicked him all in his teeth. Bad. Like, let anybody go watch that game of Orlando Brown versus baby brother Bosa, who went top 5, and you'll clearly see who clearly won and who was clearly dominated. But his combine was so bad it dropped him to the 3rd round.
Which was a steal.
Yeah, it was a steal.
Bro, we should have got.
I think it's a still kind of ongoing case study is raised. The question that you raised on, you know, shorts and shimmels, 40s and biker tights versus actual film production, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't really think anybody has it down yet. I'm just glad we got him, and I want to see what he's going to look like more so after a full off season with us.
What the combine is supposed to solidify what you already know. It's not supposed to create a new thought. You know what I'm saying? If you get what I mean. So it's like, if you think a guy is slow, when he goes to the combine, it's supposed to solidify. Yeah, he's slow. You know what I'm saying? If you think a guy's really athletic and an athlete, when he goes to the combine, it's supposed to solidify. Yeah, he's a freaking athlete. You know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to go there and be like, dang, he looked very slow on tape, but he's really fast out here. Well, that doesn't equate to football. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I remember when I used to run track. I used to run club track, man. And there was a guy named Tyree Washington, man. He held the 400 record a couple times in the United States. And, man, this dude could have been the guy, bro. Like, he could have been the guy. But he always, every single year, would leave camp early. I was a junior Olympics. He was a older kid. He was an adult. But he would always break camp and go work out try out for the goddamn Chargers. And 3 years in a row, he'd break camp, leave, go try out for the Chargers. 3 years in a row because he was stupid fast. They pick him up, and 3 years in a row they released him. Only difference about it is that third year they finally brought him up to a preseason game, got a helmet to the thigh, and was never fast like that again. You know what I'm saying? His name is Tyree Washington. You can Google him. You know what I'm saying? So it just doesn't equate, man, because you're not very oftenly running straight in football. If someone's running straight in football for a long distance, something is totally going wrong for the defense or going totally wrong for the offense. You know what I'm saying? Because there's only a couple scenarios where that's happening. So I totally agree and understand on that.
And one more thing I want to say too is I can kind of side with scouts that why they will pass them or even GMs on when somebody has a measurement where a president says they don't succeed, are you going to put your job on the line to take a risk? More than likely, no.
Not this year. Not this year. Not when they didn't even get a coach. Not this year.
I can see even politics, just the politics of job security, right?
Yeah.
Because if you go pick a player and then that player don't pan out, you want to at least say, but damn, he checked all the boxes, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can kind of maybe give a reason, but if let's say somebody picked Hyatt and he's a bum. I don't think he is, though. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying if he was, now you surely fire, because the first thing they could do is say, look at president. You should have known. A 5-2-4, you know what I mean? So it's like I've come to the point that where most of this is just judgment and covering butts, right? Like, and sometimes they got to. It's like, if I know my job on the line and I have Hyatt, then a guy that kind of checks all the boxes that's a little bit closer, I'm going with the other guy.
Yeah, because especially this year, man, you better.
Especially this year.
Especially this year.
I want to talk about one more observation that I noticed about our third-round pick.
Shoot.
Because I listened to what Brian Brody said, too, and it confirmed what we talked about last week. Because we talked about that after that tweet came out with Frederick, that I didn't believe after the tweet came out about Frederick's health that pick 90 was for Collins. And Brother said yesterday on the show that they was working out Connor McGovern, guess where?
At tackle.
Center.
Ooh.
So, and that's an indication of what they really was thinking. That's what they really was thinking, and that confirms to me. I'm not saying this is absolute, but that confirms to me that they more so wanted to put a fire under Liel, and they trying to be hopeful for Fredericks, but they're really concerned.
Because you know what that means? Because that doesn't mean that he'll leapfrog Joe Looney. That means that Joe Looney would be your starter and he would be your backup.
Right. And more than likely, Joe Looney on the bubble for next year. Not this year.
The thing about Joe Looney next year is, man, Joe Looney's a free agent. So Joe Looney is going to command. My thing is this. who do you think is better, Joe Looney or La'el Collins? Who would you take?
Right now,
or just say it if you're a team. If you're a team, I mean, obviously, well, that's probably a bad question because I think La'el Collins is going to get a little bit more love because he's a starter. But being a Dallas Cowboy fan and watching our film, Joe Looney's a better player. You know what I'm saying? Less mistakes, less sacks. Well, La'el Collins makes what $9.9 million right now. He's the 7th highest paid tackle in the NFL. Now I will not fight anybody if you try to tell me that he is not even top 10 best tackle. You know what I'm saying? So a guy like Joe Looney standing, 2 guys over, you got to think freaking Zach Martin's making like $12 million a year, highest paid guard. Collins is the 7th paid tackle. Then on this side, you got a rookie who's making about $3 million. That's more than I'm making. Then you got Tyron Smith who's making about $10 million, which is still a deal. Then you got little lonely Joe in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Bruh, Joe Looney about to get paid, bruh. I think the Cowboys understand that there's probably no way they keep Joe Looney. Because the only way you keep Joe Looney is if you start Joe Looney. And I don't know if they're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Travis Fredericks. Because will I be here and be like, I can sit here and fight you and be like, yeah, I don't believe that Travis Fredericks will be 100% this year. I don't. But I believe he'll be 100% in 2020. And I think he'll get better in 21. And I think he'll be okay in 22. And I think he'll be even better in 24. Well, guess what? He signed all the way till the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got him signed all the way till the end.
Secretly doing is they trying to put a fire under La'el to get a good year out of him to make him feel like his job on the line.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with Tank, right?
Yeah, I don't believe that Travis is gonna start every game this season, but I think he'll be good going next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 2020.
2020, I think he'll be perfectly fine.
And it makes sense for 2020, and it makes the Conor McGovern pick make sense.
Yep.
And I get, because I never in my life heard Dallas a year ahead basically terminate somebody. You know what I mean? Publicly. I've never, so it never made sense to me. And now it makes sense. It's like, okay, I see what y'all really doing, because they did that same thing with Tank. They were saying publicly to Tank, we're looking for a war daddy. We're looking for a war daddy the whole time Tank on the field. But what did he do? Tank had one of the greatest off seasons, which projected him into that real good season in 2017.
Yep.
You know, because he felt like everybody forgot about him.
Yep.
So I think they just managing La'el a little bit differently, and they managing Fredericks and Looney. They trying to make sure that they have confidence, and they trying to put a fire, in my opinion, on La'el. And to answer your question, right now, I still would go with La'el over over Looney, because I feel like La'el is more versatile. So versus you can't move Looney, you can actually, to me, move La'el Collins around to at least 2 guard spots if need be, and tackle, right? Versus Looney is going to be kind of those middle 3.
Yeah, and a starting center. I mean, I almost feel like, and you already know how I get, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't going to sign him, trade him. Like, before this trade deadline, the Dallas Cowboys need to find out what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, they need to figure out what they're going to do, because we can't have a situation like Cole Beasley. He's walking out. Any player that's getting paid $10 million in the NFL is a player that you could have traded and got something for. You know what I'm saying? And Cole Beasley, the amount of money that he's getting, I'm not saying we could have got the whole world, but we could have got something. So it's like the Dallas Cowboys next year. You're gonna have. I mean, and you're already making headwinds right now, trying to get Jalen Smith locked up. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why, that's actually something I wanted to talk about for a little bit. You know, C.J. Mosley got that ridiculous contract for a middle linebacker. Like, I think it was like $85 million, $18 million a year. Just something absolutely ridiculous. Now, since then, you've heard the Dallas Cowboys come out and say, hell yeah, we'll talk to Jalen Smith about his contract. You want to know why? Because I think C.J. Mosley's pretty darn good middle linebacker, but I think if you're looking at projection, man, if Jalen Smith has the type of season that he had this year, if he's able to build on that next year, bruh, Jalen Smith is going to be easily up there in that $17, $18 million a year. Easily. He had 4 sacks this year, 3 forced fumbles, 6 tackles for loss, 117 tackles. You know what I'm saying? If you don't draft, and I'm gonna tell you guys something. The only thing that I think that stopped Jalen Smith from probably being looked at as Defensive Player of the Year in the entire NFL is LVE. You wanna know why? Because he had 120 tackles beside him. You know what I'm saying? So if the Cowboys don't draft LVE, bruh, Jalen Smith has a ridiculous season last year, and still had one when you had a guy who was, you know what I'm saying? So. The Dallas Cowboys. What are your thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys as far as the linebacker? What are your thoughts on potential contract for Jalen Smith?
I would hope they do it now because see now they coming out saying that they back to the table with Wentz. That's been the report this last week that Wentz is now back on the table, and they throwing out about the same number that they was throwing out for Dak, $30 million. Right?
Why do they? Can I ask you a question? And I'm being facetious. Why would you want to sign a quarterback who hasn't finished the season in 2 years? Just for those people that are out there saying, why would they wouldn't sign Wentz? Why would they want to? Why would you sign a quarterback who hasn't finished the season in 2 years?
Because you're trying to get him while he's broke.
Oh.
Like he's broke. Oh. You're trying to get him and use that as leverage now. And the same thing I hope we trying to do with Jalen, right? To where we saying, well, you had a good year, but also your 2017 was, so you got a little leverage now to try to sign him up, not for top market right now. So if you can lock Jalen in now for the next 4 or 5 years and project that he's going to be that player that he was last year and maybe even improve, then you got to steal. If you wait till next year.
And he outplays C.J. Mosley. And if he outplays C.J. Mosley, you're going to be screwed.
Exactly.
You'll probably lose him, to be honest with you.
And that's why some of these players, you go ahead and sign them early because you believe in your projection. You believe. And then Jalen obviously is the ideal Dallas Cowboy.
Yep.
He does it the right way. And to be honest, he would have probably been that type of player at any team. He is a perfect politician. He waits his turn. He never tried to just too fast uproot Lee's leadership, Sean Lee's leadership. He basically waiting on him to go ahead and get on now so he can submerge as the leader to the defense. But you could tell he wanted, but he's not down in the older guy, you know. And then when he plays like a Miami player. But from Notre Dame, if you know what I mean.
Yep. He got
plays,
swag.
For lack of better words, gangster and mean. Like, he is mean. Like, and I love it. Like, he the type of dude that'll knock you out. Like, you can't tell me for a second that he wasn't trying to hurt Kamara. Because when he hit Kamara, and then he laid out Eli. And that's all intentional.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, and that's another thing. It's kind of like, it's almost like the Cowboys are doing the exact same thing with one Dak Prescott. Like there's a lot of risk in it. But my thing is this, man. If you feel in some, you're either betting on someone or betting against them. If you're betting on them, then why even take a chance and put yourself in a bigger situation next year if you feel that he's gonna play good? You know what I'm saying? The only reason I would say not to sign these guys this year is if you believe they're going to have a down year. Because if you believe they're going to have a down year, then wait. You know what I'm saying? But if you believe that these players, if you believe Jalen Smith is that dog that we believe he is, and you believe that just like every single year he's gotten better, that in his third year he's going to get even better, and if he outplays C.J. Mosley, you're looking at a $100 million linebacker. And then guess what, Dallas Cowboys? Guess what you get to do the very next year? Sign another linebacker. And his name is what? LVE. And guess whose contract he's going to use to get paid? Jalen Smith's. So we about to have like 2 linebackers making like, oh my God, bro. Praise God the cap going up, right?
You know what to me, the long term.
Bro, we're about to have 2 $18 and probably $19 million linebackers, bro.
Yeah, but it's going LVE is a while away, so
not realistic. Well, he's 2, but he's eligible in the third. He'll be eligible next year. That's why I said the third year because Jalen's gonna get his. Jalen, you have the 5th year, but it's like you know what I'm saying. If I'm more inclined to think they'll do the same, look what they've been doing with their first rounds.
I wouldn't do it next year. I would wait.
No, not next year. Jalen Smith will be next year. Then the year after next.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying the very next year.
It's going to be higher, like, because Hills is not going to be up for another 3 years, and it's going to be 3 salary cap increases when it's time for him to be paid. And I think what's happening that the Dallas Cowboys are doing, we are secretly trying to put together a dynasty run, not just a Super Bowl run. We're trying to put together a dynasty run low key. The reason why I say that is because we was the youngest team in the playoffs. We was the second youngest team or youngest team in football, period, last year. And what we doing low key is we signing the core. That's what we doing. And we signing those now that we think have the ability to be top 2 in their category, except for the quarterback, you know. But everybody else that we signing right now that we calling the core, we trying to lock them in for 5 years. And I think what we're going to do, West Coast, and it's just a projection, obviously, but I think we're going to look at everybody else as expendable. Like, that's why I think Byron Jones and even Leah Collins is a little bit expendable because they're not top 2 in their category, you know. So I think if you're not top 2 or top 3 in your category, Dallas not signing you. You know, they go move on from you. But everybody else, it looked like they locking in for like a 5-year run because the offensive line is going to be locked in 2023. Yeah. Cooper going to be locked in for 5 years. Dak will be locked in for about 6 years. You got Tank locked in for about 5 years right now. You know, so it's like all the core pieces right now, especially like somebody like Jalen, they looking like they saying these guys are going to be the staples of
our football team. Hey, and I'm going to be honest with you, man, not to open up Pandora's box, man, but I think also the fact if Chris Richard is going to be staying or going next year is going to determine a guy like Byron Jones too, because if Chris Richard leaves, there's no way I'm sorry. I'm all aboard keeping Byron Jones then. Like, I'm going to keep him. Why? Because he's the guy that's been under him the most, with the most tutelage. You know what I'm saying? But if I get a guy, you know, if Chris Richard's able to make this, he can save me a whole lot of money. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Because if I got to have a $14 million corner and a freaking $20 million defensive end, then I got Tyron Smith making $10 million. I got Robert Quinn making $8 million. Bro, this defense is no longer becoming economically. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's starting to sound like a goddamn offense. You know what I'm saying? Because you about to have a $20 million defensive end, $8 million linebacker. Thank God our safeties don't cost too much, right? Like, man, it's about to get expensive. But, I mean, the good thing about it is the cap does go up every year, man. But, yo, boss, go ahead.
And then it's projected as of right now that we're going to have around 80 to 90 million in cap space before cuts next year.
That's good. We're going to need it.
So even though these guys are expensive, if we lock them up now,
they're going to be cheaper.
We got at least 3-4 years to let that cap accrue.
Yep.
You know?
But go ahead.
And then we can, you know, obviously like 2 years from now, you'll have LVE come up as a major need.
Yep.
But other than that, you just got your core.
Yep.
You got, you know, Zeke, Coop, you got your triplets, you got your offensive line of 2023, you know. So even though they're expensive, I got to give Steven a lot of credit. He has been amazing at budgeting.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And it's been times to where I was very critical of him, especially passing on certain free agents, especially within the last 3 years. But now when you see how he has, and so has obviously Will McClay and Jerry, been very disciplined on shopping and building through the draft.
Yep.
Man, paying off. So it looked like the next 2 years we'll be the type team that can go get a Julio if he's available. Like, go get, like, literally D-top and not blink if we want that.
Yeah, because it's basically you're doing. It's like, you know, you can either shop at the store down the street where it's a little bit more expensive. You go to Sam's Club, get everything in bulk. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna cost a little bit more, but in the long run, it's gonna be cheaper. The Cowboys get all your high-end expensives out of the way right now. You know what I'm saying? So then guess what? Next year, there's not going to be much that we're going to have to pay for next year. And if we do, it's not going to cost us much so that we can what? Stack all that salary cap for this next year when we got to pay guys like LVE. You know what I'm saying? We got to pay guys like Zeke. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that's what I was saying, Boss Cowboy. It's almost like, you know, you take a you basically say, hey, we gonna eat Roman noodles for the next 2 years and stack all our salary cap, pay all of our core guys. Why? Because guess what? In about 3 years, come the 3-year mark, all of our core guys will be cheap. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
All of our core guys will be cheap.
Yep. So I mean, I see what they doing and I love it. It's a building to a run, like for sure.
Yep. I can do it too. But hey, man, we've been on here, man. I appreciate you for jumping up in here, man. Boss Cowboy, man. Let them know where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, before we get out of here, I do have an article out on my page, www.bosscowboy.com. Go on there. It just came out about 2 hours ago. That's why I wasn't on the show. I was basically putting the final touches on it. Go check that out because I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about it this week because it's a perspective that I'm almost certain that nobody is talking about. Nobody talking about it. And it's basically the opportunity cost of not having your best players on the field. And that's basically what it's about. And so I break down the snap counts with Cooper versus other people, and you can see that the best offenses keep their best weapons on the field, and that's just a snapshot. And I'm basically asking the question, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to continue what we did on the Scott Linehan and Jason Garrett, or are we going to go forward and do better? But you got to read it, and nobody's talking about it. And it's more so about, you know, what can we do with our offense that can actually do more with less? And I'm also going to be on the show today. Be looking out for that too.
All right, so yeah, man. Therese Peel, appreciate you. Julius, appreciate everybody that tuned in today, man. Everybody for rocking us on YouTube, man. What's up with you, Justin? Haley94, I appreciate you, man. What's up with you? All the folks, so we got 10, 12 people on YouTube watching, so we appreciate you guys. We'll be clocking this, hitting this thing every day, man. You already know it's never an off season, but you already know who I am. Tyson, the West Coast Cowboy. Never look down because the stars up. Peace.